What's up, guys? This is Gold Robotics. Today is September 17th, maybe?
That's the wrong thing.
Maybe?
Today
is probably September 17th.
It is the 17th.
It is the 17th. Anyways, we've been working on the robots and we're exhausted. We've done a long work day.
Let's not say it's been long.
And with, so there's progress that happens whenever you make a mistake and fail. There's progress in the sense that you had to do that before you could do the next thing. And that happened with about everyone today.
Except for the freshman.
Yeah, Cyrus is going good. He's got his stuff. But we're up here, like Nathan, Adi, Clay, Cyrus, they're all up here. But we stay a little bit longer. But we have Reese has...
Let's start on Bobby's robot.
Anyways, yeah, I'll start on what I was doing first. I'm trying to figure out the intake, and I saw a video on YouTube, or a couple of videos with people using conveyor belts, and I was like, I'm pretty familiar with conveyor belts because like last year was a tipping point. You know, I was like, it will be nice because I got to make this disc go all the way up here. It'd be nice to do just, you know, one conveyor belt, 2 sprockets, easy, something like that. However, I forgot my hatred of conveyor belts from the past tipping point season. I now remember how much I hate them, and how long that ring thing collected and that took to make that. And like my brain is like, I don't want to do this. And so we're doing a flex wheel design because there's so much easier to work with. So I think I want to put I have this flex. Okay, this is the beginning part of the intake. Not much to it. Just it can go up slightly, but not enough to go out of perimeter. But enough to put pressure on the disc. You know, and then I don't even know if you can see that middle wheel right there. It does not hit anything.
The reason conveyor belts isn't good also is that it doesn't put tension on the disc against the polycarb while it's going up, and so it just loses it and the polycarb just slips all the time.
Yeah, I've seen people combine, like last year we combined chain and like those long flaps, or chain and like at the beginning of the season there were hooks. So I tried something like that to where I still got it. I combined chain and flaps and then also nylocks. And pretty much the whole concept was they couldn't bend back that like as far as they could, which just made a good jam. And so I saw someone using is 379.
I have no idea.
X some number, and they had like a double intake, and they used conveyor belts for one of their intakes. So shout out to them. But it didn't work for us because we didn't feel like massacring flex wheels to put on our conveyor belt.
Let me just fly over here.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm doing flex wheel intake. I've seen a lot of people do this on the YouTubes, and so it's definitely possible. Reese has done it. You know, he's got his intake. You know, so it's definitely feasible. But yeah, so today I kind of got this finalized. I also got this big polycarb ramp because it kind of went with the whole chain thing, because I had a whole nother structure and stuff, and it turned out to not really want to work easily. Another thing is we have tournaments coming up really soon, and so
the 15th.
Yeah, so even if I think I probably could eventually figure out the conveyor belt thing, I'm like, okay, is it going to be faster for me to try to tough it out, or for me just to scrap it and do something that I know how to do with minimal drawbacks? Like, there would be really no advantage of one or the other as long as they both work. So, yeah. And since it didn't work easily, then I scrapped it. Because it was like, I was like, hopefully it will work easily, because it was like, my plan was to do like the flex wheel at first. And then I was like, wait, it would be easier just to do a conveyor belt. But it turns out it probably won't be easier to do a conveyor belt for that high, because I want to get the intake pretty high. So the flywheel can shoot from high, so it can shoot into the goal from close range and not have to scoop far back. But yeah, like I said, competition is coming close. And so we're going with the whatever we think is faster, and I think that'll be faster to build. Reese?
Yeah. Okay, let's start with the only kind of good news that I have today. So, at the very beginning of the day, I started working on other things that I will talk about here shortly. And I gave up on all that stuff and then worked and started working on my track wheels because I thought that might help my mental state a little bit. And I got some type of track wheel down here. You can see it's up and down. It works. Though, along with going up and down, it can go sideways. So
this is why you don't build when you're too tired to think, because sometimes we forget.
Yeah, we got home at like 2 o'clock last night from the football game. I'm not all there, but I have a halfway decent track wheel design and a way of fixing that sideways thing. So, and once I have it on that side, I'll add it to the other side, and all I have to do is figure out a new back track wheel. That's the only good news that I have today. Now, let's talk about the thing I started today with. My top intake plus flywheel. As you can see, the motor is off. That was because while I was building the top intake, I was like, okay, now it's time to get this little flap thing that pushes the disc down, levels it out, and pushes it through the flywheel. I got this halfway working, and then it kind of worked, but whenever the disc went through the flywheel, it barely shot and only went like 3 feet while standing on top of our tables, which was not good at all, which got me really concerned. So I stopped using my intake and just did my regular flywheel test, and it still only went 3 feet. And apparently my 1-to-1 motor is no longer working. And now I have to redesign. Now we're in the process of redesigning that. And then this doesn't work, so
yeah. And
we have a new disc, slightly bigger. It's really hard to see, but new disc. It's tighter around the gears, so it's not going to wobble as much. Because what we think is happening is that we're losing power from the motor whenever it's a lot of the power and energy is being wasted whenever the wheel rotates, because the previous one had a little wiggle room and it could wobble side to side, allowing the axle to wobble side to side, allowing the energy to be pushed into the bearings and rotating the entire mechanism, which was making it rattle. And so we tried to make this as tight as possible, made a new disc, did that, and then we also have a problem where on the previous one, the heads of the screws that were holding down the top insert that were holding it, they were touching the small circle around the thing, and that's making it wobble, and so we're making a new disc.
so yeah, Clayton spent a long time filing out that's how we did it. We don't have
a super fine CNC machine, so we have to hand file each tooth into this gear. Though we did CNC the disc to make a circle. That was the luckiest part about this one.
So, and then mine, I guess I'll show mine real quick because I didn't show how I did it. Here, Grease, can you hold the camera?
Yeah, we didn't see Bobby's jank design.
Where did it put it?
Your dimension? Oh, it's right there.
Which, yeah, it's very interesting. It's not, even though I have it like hot swapped right now, it's not very hot swappable, if that makes sense. In the sense that it's extremely fragile. Okay. Yeah, I get like, what else? Like the shards of polycarb.
Yes, shards of polycarb that go jammed into the teeth.
Yeah.
And a big axle spacer.
And this guy goes like, I won't show it because it takes kind of a while, but this guy kind of goes on top of them and then spins with it, right, when you got both of them in. But very fragile. It really can't be hot swapped, but like it won't come apart. Like if you bolt the motor in, it'll be fine. I don't know if that even made sense of what was going on, but I would not suggest that.
Mine takes forever to do.
Reese's takes forever to do.
But in theory, if it's done right and done to the best of ability, it's forever, and it should do
Yeah, it'll
everything perfect.
last all season. The problem with mine is it's not hot swappable, and I feel like this year might be good to hot swap motors just because of how hot they get after matches, especially if you're going that 1-to-1 ratio.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure it's legal.
They haven't said anything yet.
There's if y'all are on the forums, y'all know, and the Q&As, and it's
Q&A's so vague about that.
But people have done it and brought it to comp and not been called out on it, so we will
bring it to comp and hopefully not get called out on it.
Hopefully.
We'll see how Texas does this.
Anyways, that is it for today.
Nathan, wait, should we show Cyrus's thing because it does actually work?
Yeah. So Cyrus and some of the other freshmen are building the fish bot, which is
Prototype bot.
Yeah, they're just working on it's like the freshmen working on the bot just to try to train, and then this thing for the rollers, I guess.
And apparently the roller thing worked today.
So that's really cool that they're getting to work on their own project. And also it will give us, we'll only take the 3 to competition, but we'll have 4 bots so that we're able to,
competitions in our own
we're able to
field.
simulate matches, which is very beneficial when the time comes.
For practice, especially.
Anyways, this has been a long video, I realized, because we were rambling at how much we failed today. But it's okay, because we made progress.
Yeah.
Anyways, see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.